In the big Bilge Tank, we'll keep you in the know. In the big Bilge Tank, we'll fix your techie woes, and we'll break things and we'll make things till we're all together raking, and we'll raise a cup of grog down in the big Bilge Tank. In the big Bilge Tank, come and join our pirate crew. In the big Bilge Tank, we will show you what to do. And we'll hack it till we crack it, and we'll tell the world about it and forget to tidy up. That's why it's now a Bilge Tank.
Hello and welcome to episode 092 of the Bilge Tank, here from Sheffield-on-Sea, and we are approximately on time. Today we're here with Wayne, who's brought along a really cool demo. I'm in virtual reality for the whole episode because it's way cooler than what you guys can see. But yeah, Wayne's got a brilliant demo using Google Cardboard combined with an iPhone or an Android phone, tiny robot, and 2 of the Raspberry Pi cameras, so it's like a stereo vision streaming 3D virtual reality thing. Very, very cool. And Sandy's got a couple of demos of new products.
Yep.
So let's get on with it.
And we've got another special guest.
Oh yeah, I'm coming out of there, man. That was wild. And if you didn't see it, our Paul has been over at Adafruit and was on Ask an Engineer last night, which broadcast at like 1 AM.
Yeah.
I'm a bit tired.
Yeah.
I
didn't stay up.
No,
I watched it this morning. But
sensible guy. So yeah, he was on Ask an Engineer, which is like Adafruit do a big long live stream at the end of the day on a Wednesday, and they kind of go through kind of a bit Bilge Tanky, but they do different segments and then they split it up later and they become the videos on the Adafruit YouTube channel. So Paul was there lurking in the background, kind of talking about Pimoroni, talking about our history and generally shooting the breeze. And then they went for whiskey and Japanese food. So that's all good. And actually we have Paul, we're going to try something brand new today. We're going to try a live connection with Paul, who's currently on the top of a building in New York. There is no reason for this segment, it's just something we wanted to do.
just because we can.
Yeah, just because we can. So
Right, here we go. We're going to try to...
you got to crossfade him or something.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Quick fade. Boom. Hey, Paul.
Hey folks, long time fan, first time
We
guy.
haven't thought this through. We have no monitor, so we can't hear what Paul's got to say. But we're going to give him a couple of minutes to have a chat, and then put his thumbs up when he wants us to go away.
Yeah, so I'm currently kind of going to wander the world, and I'm going to try and take videos of all the cool stuff I see around there. Like here in New York, I'm in Lolita, and somebody stuck a frickin' boat on a building. Who does that? This place is crazy and noisy and awesome. So I'm going to I took some video around Adafruit, and I'm going to share with all of the viewers on YouTube just what I'm seeing. I'm going to go to Make Fair, and then hopefully go to Berlin and just all over, and bring back all the cool stuff, and just say, look at this, it's amazing. So yeah, so people get a flavour of how people do making around the world, and just all the cool stuff we see. Okay, have a good show, guys.
Thanks, Paul. That was probably awesome. Or, well, we don't really know. So hit fade again. That just switches you to feeds, basically. Whoa! Welcome back, folks. So I hope that was enlightening. We'll find out later. What are you doing? Oh, you're turning the audio off.
Yeah, trying to meet Paul.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Smart. Okay.
Nice.
So, did you want to have a look at new products first?
Yeah, let's...
You got a couple of demos as well, I think.
I've got some demos. The one that we don't have a demo of is a kind of variation of the BatBit microbit cases. So these are made by Protopic. We've had this one that takes 2 AAA batteries in the shop for a couple of months now, I guess. And it's basically a little kind of acrylic.
Do you want to throw it to Wayne? We'll have a quick close up.
A little acrylic case with a battery case on the back.
This isn't the new product, but
This
it's like the
is not the new
same
one.
kind of thing.
It's the same thing, I've just not made this one up.
Cool.
But essentially the new one takes 2 coin cell batteries.
Inception. There we go.
So it's basically a slimmer version of the one that takes the AAA batteries.
Which is nice, isn't it? It's a lot less heavy,
Yeah.
and sits much more flush. So if you're wearing your microbit as a badge or building it into a project, if you don't need the battery life,
Yeah. Or if you just want
Better
it mobile, if you want to use it on the go, if you want to, I guess, code a game on it or something like that, and then, shove it in your bag and play the game when you're out and about, then it's ideal for that.
And interestingly, the original microbit design itself actually had a coin cell holder on the back. They took it off because of the risk of small batteries, basically. Though they're not ideal for children if they're not properly supervised and you're not aware of what's going on. So it's a useful feature to get back, but obviously the reason they took it off in the first place was a good one.
They did leave the test points on there so you could manually put them back on,
which is awesome.
Yep.
Cool. So that's nice.
So that's the first thing. The next thing is quite a neat little thing, which is. Do we have the other? Have you still got the other window up there? Somewhere?
Yeah, I have.
Do you want the product page for it?
Coming under here.
Yeah.
Which one are we on? Clap machine.
Oh, that's not the right one.
There we go.
So this is a little clap sensor, and basically, let's just unplug it. Do you want to get that in the close-up? So it has a little...
it's a little electret microphone, basically, yeah?
A little mic on it. Essentially, it's got 3 pins, power, ground, and output. When it detects a signal, which is a clap, so it's been calibrated to, I guess, only detect the kind of certain volume and frequency of a clap.
Do you have to have a specifically hydrated hand? How precise is it?
You have to kind of calibrate and baseline your clap before you use it.
Probably want to like invest in one of those Dyson Air blade things or something, so you guarantee a perfectly crisp clap every time. Cool.
Essentially the output pin gets pulled low when it detects a clap. So we've got a little demo set up here. If you do you want to pick that up?
If you guess where these wires go, John.
They're marked on it.
Yeah.
So we've got a little demo here with a blinked...
sorry, I noticed this is hooking up to the 3v3. Is it compatible with 5 volts as well?
I think it is, yes.
Cool.
Yes. Operating voltage from 2.5 volts to 5.5.
Go on, you do it. You've got the calibrated hands.
We'll have to get it on the close-up cam.
So the key feature to this is that actually getting an electret microphone and kind of reading a signal from it is not a major task, but this effectively kind of calibrates it,
for you.
debounces it.
Exactly,
you get a 40 millisecond pulse.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what the signal will look like if a clap is detected. Go on, Wayne. Live demo. I've wired it wrong. Have I run the script?
Probably not.
It's not.
Is it not? It's not.
Try again. Control C, back arrow.
Where are we? Oh, so it says red.
No, it should be red when it detects a clap. Have you wired that?
Okay.
Oh!
It's a click sensor.
Yeah, it should. Try clapping again.
Oh no, I'm an idiot. Okay. Please hold, caller. Totally did not read those labels. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, go for it now. There we go.
There we go.
So it should stay lit for 5 seconds and then go back to... Yeah, there you go.
Touch over there?
Yeah.
The old TV remote?
There we go.
Clacker, whatever.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So that's really easy. So basically all you would do would be use something like rpi.gpio, which is what I've used, and then just like monitor the state of that pin.
And using something like rpi.gpio, the easiest way to do this would be to attach an event to the falling edge of that pin.
I'm basically just watching. I've got a while loop, just watching the state of the pin.
You're polling it basically.
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing for Google AIY.
Ooh, you could use so you could use that with like your pirate radio with the microphone and do
connect that to a
claps
button
to start.
Yeah.
Cool. Because you get the 40 millisecond pulse, you can almost treat it like a button. I mean, like
exactly,
like
a button press.
Perfectly compatible. Yeah. Nice.
So the other one is very similar in terms of the demo, and it's the OpenPIR from.
Hey, there we go.
The OpenPIR from SparkFun, which is just a really nicely made PIR sensor. So that's passive infrared. So this is the kind of thing you would get in your little security.
It's what you have in the corner of your room,
system,
isn't it? Looking over the room. So.
Yeah. So it basically gets triggered when it detects movement.
Put it under the camera.
Again, it's got an output pin. So it's got power, ground, and output. And this time the pin gets pulled high when it detects motion.
Activity.
And it has 2 different modes. It has single pulse and double pulse. So single pulse is when it
That's wiry. That.
detects something that's entering the frame of movement. Double pulse is when it detects something entering or leaving.
Sorry, so do you get a difference in the pulse? Is it like a single pulse when it enters, 2 when it leaves, or is it not that much?
It's I think it is 1 pulse when it detects an entry, and then another pulse when it detects an exit. So that's,
We should probably show the right product page while we're doing this.
or it's a double pulse, or I'm not really sure the details. But again, it's 3 to 5 volts, so it's ideal for the Pi. And it's also got 2 little trim pots on the back, and the trim pots allow you to adjust the sensitivity, which is basically just the kind of range of detection. And I think it goes up to kind of like about 8 or 10 meters, and then all the way down to like a very kind of short range. You can also change how long it's kind of stays triggered for.
Right, okay. With the trim pots, yeah?
Yeah.
It appears to be constantly triggering, and I'm trying to work out if it's something to do with the camera sensor, maybe? Because, the description on the page says when the
could well be
LED triggers, it's effectively the status of the out pin, and it's just sat there going like 1 second trigger, 1 second trigger.
When I was testing it, it took a while to kind of stabilise, so I don't know if it kind of takes a while to stabilise, but if you try running there's a PIR.py script.
I have a feeling that
look,
it stopped flashing.
There we go.
Ooh!
It's not
you can't see that, but it definitely happened. Totally.
It's like a radio demo.
There we go. There, you can see it getting triggered.
Right.
So again, it stays triggered for about 5 seconds, but you can alter that. I think it goes up to about 10
magician.
seconds.
You see that? It just changed colour under my hand. It's incredible.
So yeah,
I couldn't possibly tell you. Secret of the Bilge Tank.
Yeah.
There's another pin on there. I hooked up the out, which is obviously like digital out, but there's a pin labelled A. Is that actually like an analog reading from the sensor or something?
I think it is. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it doesn't actually say on there.
Have a look at the guides. I'll tell you.
Cool module though. The reason we've got this is loads of people ask us for PIR sensors.
Yep.
And a lot of the modules that are out there are quite grotty.
Yeah, you can get them for like £5 on Amazon. They're, they all look the same. They're kind of the ones that have got the 4 big capacitors at each corner in the back.
Yeah.
And they cost about £5. I gather that quite a lot of them don't work properly. So they do things like they're basically triggered all the time, and then they just don't work very well.
Those kind of cheap boards always look like they've been dragged through a wave solder backwards, don't they? There's just something about the aesthetic and kind of like the quality of the soldering and stuff. But this is a nice one, and obviously it works if you are marginally competent, unlike us. Looking at the guide, it does say you get an analog output, which is the analog output of the differential amplifiers, which are effectively what trigger the output pin. So that might give you a bit more resolution. Might be able to say, is it a cat? Or
pigeon.
Or is my house on fire? Or something useful like that.
I wonder if you can do like size of objects. I
think presumably the amount of radiated IR is relevant, right? I mean that must be what the sensor's seeing. So I think you get an idea for the kind of thermal mass of an object or something. Maybe?
Yeah.
Cool. PIR sensors.
Yep.
They're back. You heard it here first. Also, obviously, great for doing like home security stuff. So that's like the key thing, or triggering, say, a Pi camera. So if you do like a wildlife camera in the garden, stuff like that. Yeah. Very cool. Would work nicely with Automation Hat, so you could use it as like a trigger for another event, drive some other device.
Turn lights on.
Yeah.
If you had like low voltage.
I love those buildings where you walk through and like the ceiling tiles turn on as you walk under them.
Yeah.
Paul and I stayed in Cambridge recently. We went to visit Pi, and we went into an apartment block that was like that. The only downside was the lights turned on after you'd walked past them. So you basically walked in darkness with like this halo of light appearing behind you. It was frankly useless. But there you go. Cool. Oh wow! Look at those graphs.
Someone just said in the chat, if you scroll down, it tells you what the output of that pin is. So that'd be awesome. You could, if you were using Automation Hat, you could hook that up to the ADC on Automation Hat and just read the
to get more detail.
The data stream coming out of it.
Connected to a speaker.
So we know it's good for detecting no motion a single hand wave and vigorous hand waving at least. That's like bare minimum spec here. And you can
turn
probably
it-
do way more.
You could turn it into like a MIDI instrument, so you could like play it by like waving your hands really fast over it. Or,
Yeah,
A theremin of sorts.
yeah.
jazz hands. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's nice. And we got one more SparkFun product today. SparkFun Happy. Do we, Sandy?
We don't have it
Do we have it?
actually with us, but
Oh, do we not? I've got it
We
here.
don't.
That one, yeah.
Sorry, we do have that one. I
thought
was
we
thinking
had
about the
that
other one. Yeah,
Where's it
yeah.
gone? Our table's a bit crowded today. It's covered in robots.
No, that's the speaker.
It should be with. Maybe I didn't bring it.
No, that's no biggie. We didn't have a demo for it, did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Go on then.
that's quite good.
Vigorous hand waving. Flapping
Vigorous.
of a bird?
It could be. Is it still running?
Yes.
Yeah. PIR sensors are kind of cool. They're such old tech. Like they've been around forever.
They are.
And they always seem to have that slightly diffused kind of dome thing going on, which nobody can see what we're actually talking about. There we go.
Don't you sell the Energini things for remote power?
We sell the little RF transmittery
Oh, okay.
doohickeys with the kind of switched mains socket, but we don't have any of their other stuff. So.
You could use that to control. There's a little dongle to control the Energini devices.
I think there is.
So it's very cool.
Right,
So
I probably don't need this anymore, so we can move it tentatively over.
yeah, you can move. You can move that pie. You can actually just unplug it.
Trying to just yank
Yeah.
that pie.
So this is very cool. This is a digital air quality sensor. So it's I squared C, and it allows you to detect relative CO2 levels and volatile organic compounds. So that's things like I think it's, they say metal oxides.
Oh, we just took the power out of that.
So if you had a warehouse like we do, you could set one up in your warehouse and you could use it to kind of monitor the air quality.
So,
in your warehouse.
volatile organic compounds, you being a scientist stroke biologist
I'm not
stroke-
a chemist. I'm not
No,
a
I know,
chemist.
but you probably read a couple of pages, right?
I
Went to Wikipedia.
I did
Expert.
first year chemistry at university,
Yeah.
and I got to the stage of it where they started talking about quantum spin states of electrons and things like that, and that's where I just completely
You literally just phased out.
it
then.
just went over my head and I phased out, and I just that was the end of chemistry. It was dead to me after that.
Okay, so for the benefit of those at home, VOCs or volatile organic compounds are the kinds of things that you might have in pollutants or things that irritate people who have allergies or
Things like
that kind of
hydrocarbons,
thing.
and like it says, metal oxides. I don't know if things like nitrogen monoxide or
That's the whole
dioxide,
diesel
I
scandal
don't know.
stuff, isn't it? The
Yeah,
NOx
yeah.
and what have you. Yeah.
I don't know if they're included in the kind of stuff this sensor detects, but the demo we've got set up is reading the so basically you can get two readings. You can get CO2 and you can get total volatile compounds or volatile organic compounds, and they come as separate readings. So the demo I've got set up is with an Arduino. It's hooked
A
up
Metro?
to
An Adafruit Metro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adafruit Metro, which is basically the same as an Arduino Uno, and I've got a couple of LEDs hooked up to it, and hopefully, if Wayne breathes on the sensor, if you go really close to
I'll
it,
melt it.
and then
Okay.
breathe on it, like go really, really close, really close.
Obviously, I have no breath.
There we go.
Hey, it's triggered. So
Yeah,
the LED
so it's
just
triggered
changed
it.
colour.
Yeah.
You may not have seen because you were
I was
face
in
down
there.
on the desk.
I was in there. What does
So,
that show? I've got organic compounds.
Well, it's showing the
coming out.
CO2,
CO2
that you're breathing
coming out
out.
in your breath.
So obviously, as you
Yeah.
exhale, so you
Yeah.
could use that as a kind of carbon monoxide monitor. Obviously, if you're doing
There we
safety
go.
purposes, you should use a properly certified unit
Yeah.
that is designed for that job.
Yeah.
But if you want to use it, like Sandy said, in say our warehouse environment, we could use it to kind of monitor the air quality levels, set triggers. So say if we were getting smoke out of one of the ducts from a laser cutter or something like that, that might be something you could put there as like a check or a little test to ensure that everything's going.
Or I guess if a lot of a lot of places use like dry ice as like a packing material, and obviously one of the hazards with that is that it's giving off CO2 gas, so you have to kind of have like CO2 monitors set up and things like that, so you could do that kind of thing with it. Obviously it's not, there are proper ways to do it, and that wouldn't be kind of a proper way to do it, but that's the kind of thing that you could do with it.
A lot. Sorry, go on.
Does it tell you the different chemicals it's reading? And the
So
parts
the
per
first
million?
reading is CO2, right?
The first one's CO2, which is, I think they're both relative, so what it does is it sets kind of, in the example code they've got, they have examples of how to set the baseline for it, so you can kind of like take a background reading, and that's your baseline, and then the readings that you get are relative to that baseline, effectively. So, and I guess that's because you can't really put it in a kind of zero CO2 or zero volatile organic compound environment. All you can get is like a clean air background reading.
There's a lot of interest for environmental monitoring, which is cool, especially if you can get this kind of stuff spread out all over the country. It gives the citizens, if you like, the opportunity to collect and collate data and actually see how air quality differs from Sheffield to Manchester or near a school or in the workplace, whatever. So it's cool stuff. Are they expensive? I kind of think they would be. Are they? I have no
I
idea.
can't remember the price of it.
Do you want me to get?
Is it that one? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
about
28 quid.
£5.
They're not cheap, but cool thing.
The cool thing about it is that it does the two different modes, the CO2 and the volatiles.
And the volatiles, yeah.
With the other kind of analog sensors that you get, they tend to just be for a specific, type of gas, like carbon monoxide or, various other gases.
Nitrogen oxide or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice one.
Yep.
That's all our demos.
Yep.
Was there another product, or was that it? Was the one that you said we were going to look at, but we didn't?
There's the little header snapping thing that's quite cool that we don't have one of, but I quite like it. So
That's
this,
a pinhead.
Oh, this is from Protopic, yeah. So they've been throwing out quite a lot of new products recently, and they're a cool bunch,
Yeah, they're
based
cool
up in
guys.
Scotland, I think.
Yeah.
And this is basically a little laser cut tool that lets you really easily split headers off into known lengths. So you normally buy that strip header, the male strip header, and it's 40 poles, and this just means you can just slot it into like the number 8 slot, break it off, and you've got 8 poles. Perfect.
because every time I try and do this with my fingers, you never get the number that you want. If you want 5, you always get 6 or 4.
Yeah.
And it's just
Well, you also do that thing where you count them with your nail. You go bump,
yeah,
bump, bump,
yeah.
bump, bump.
But then
bump.
even when you snap it, you're like
Our meaty fingers are no good for this
Yeah.
delicate task. Yes.
We need a tool.
We need a tool. So we have a tool. There you go. Lovely stuff. Right, we can get rid of all of this now. Get some space.
Oh.
Okay.
You done with it?
Yeah.
Smart. Cool. So Wayne has been working on this for quite some time, and you showed it to us before.
I have, yeah.
It's very, very
We should
cool.
probably introduce Wayne. I don't think have you been in Bilge Tank before?
No.
Is this your debut?
This
It
is,
is.
yeah.
So
First time.
yeah, tell us about yourself. What do you do? What's your day job?
My day job is software engineer, freelance, do embedded stuff, mobile, Bluetooth development on various different platforms. But yeah, I play with toys and do a bit of robotics here and there.
And a lot of making, right? That's it's a hobby.
As a hobby, laser cutting, got a 3D printer, had one for a few years. So yeah, big into making, been to some maker fairs. Yeah, love it. So yeah, that's a little brief bit about me.
Very good. And you've been up here a few times.
Yeah,
And we
4
have
or 5
schemed.
times. We have
Drunk a couple of beers.
a couple of beers,
A couple.
a little shot of whiskey with Paul.
Yeah.
Now
and again. Paul's actually run away to America to
Yeah.
avoid it.
he went
That's
to a whole
how
other time
that's how
zone to avoid.
strenuous it can be. But yeah, we've been working on some things together, and also I think we helped you out with some bits and pieces for this.
Yep.
While you were experimenting with the cameras and spacing of the optics and stuff.
Yeah. So some shims, some power shims,
Cool.
zero hypos, and the optics. So shall we?
Yeah. So talk us through it. So what is it first of all?
So first of all,
Let's get some buzzwords out.
buzzwords.
This is what we put in the title of the YouTube. This is where we get our 1 million views. Okay?
Right. So this is a Cortex Robotics tiny 4-wheel drive.
Lovely. That's Brian's robot product.
Very cool kit, which in your shop. And on it is a mini Black Hacker, Explorer Fat, a Pi Zero W, a pan and tilt hat.
Should we let's go full screen close up and get this under the camera because that was pretty cool. I'll zoom it out for you a bit. Okay.
Okay. And on separately is the stereo vision part at the top, which is 2 pi zeros, battery pack, LiPo, shim, and 2 of your cameras, and 2 from wide angle lenses from your.
Are they the
kit.
lenses from the lens kit?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And are you using wide angle because it naturally maps to the kind of optics of the Google Cardboard, or do you
It
then do
does.
some distorting to it?
So, no, I thought I might have to. So the lenses actually undistort the distort that these lenses add. So basically the remote viewer, I'll show you in a bit.
Yeah.
It just is a stream of the 2 cameras. There's nothing clever.
kinda
It
cool.
just goes straight through.
So the obvious questions here are that the Pi Zero only supports a single camera, so you've actually got 2 Pi Zeros, 1 per eye, yeah?
That's right. Yeah.
And then somehow you have another Pi Zero that's effectively mediating the whole system and synchronizing it?
So independently, this Pi here is on the chassis. So this top part is completely removable and separate.
Okay.
This Pi Zero has a web server on it that serves up a web page to your phone or your Mac or your PC or Android device, a remote console, which I could show you. And
Shall I try and get it up on here? Is it on our network or is it?
it's not on your network,
Oh,
no.
okay.
And then it's responsible for controlling the motor driver, your Pironi hat. So that's can you see that mess? I've just got to reload it. Oh, there we go. So it's a virtual.
Whoa! Settle down. I'm going to hold the robot.
So this is a web page served up from the first Pi on the base of the bot. And
Oh.
so you can have it with.
Do you want to rotate the phone a little bit so we can see in
Oh, sorry.
the... Yeah.
So I'm waving my hand.
So you've got the stereo view there.
Should we go back to mixed view, Sandy? The close up in the corner and
Yeah, or we can do that.
perfect.
So you can control. It's all right.
That's right.
And you can control it using 2 virtual keyboards. Voice virtual
Oh, that's
joysticks
kind of
here.
awesome.
There's. Let me just do this. There's this. So this is the stereoscopic mode. You can see that. There's a single mode where it just uses. I'm sorry. A single camera. So if you just had this with just one camera, you could view it by using the cardboard viewer, which I'll show you in a sec.
Right, yeah.
Or there's the single camera mode, like that.
So this is just one eye, is it?
That's just one eye.
Whichever. Gotcha, yeah.
The other thing you can do is you can. Where is it? So this web app that's served up by the Pi has. You can use
Cool.
the virtual joypad, or you can. Where we go?
If I put this down, is it going to go crazy?
No.
No, good.
Right, so. If I turn it on. Have I run out of power? No, there he is. So now. Oh, it's fallen asleep.
Oh.
There we go. So you can use the. So this is the HTML5 gamepad API.
Okay.
And you can also pair keyboards with the phone, and basically the phone relays all the info.
That's
like
pretty
that.
cool.
Um,
So effectively we can drop this on the floor and like send it off loading.
yeah, and you get the live stream
Should we give it a go?
if you want. Yeah.
Take a little tour around the build tank. We'll be like giants. Can we get this on screen somehow, the video, or is that... the other
So
demo
you
we're
could
gonna
browse
do?
to it from a desktop browser and drive it from over there if you want
How
to.
do I connect to it?
Oh no, because it's on a.
Do I need to go onto an access point?
You would
on...
need to get onto this phone. So it's using the phone's access point. To
Oh, it's connecting to the phone rather than voice
Yeah,
versa.
so it's
Right,
the
gotcha.
Wi-Fi hotspot,
Okay.
yeah.
No worries. Where is it?
Actually, right.
I'll just kill that one for now.
It's right behind you.
Oh, it's moving now.
Hello. There we go. Can you see it on the screen?
Just about.
Kind of, yeah. Oh, ooh, crash.
Hello. So the. Where is it? So the other view. if we go back to here, so I did the first version of this and it worked with the Oculus Rift, but that's a fairly expensive setup. So this version wanted to work with Google Cardboard, which is like £8 for a lens setup. So in this view, you stick it in here.
Are those suction pads part of the Google Cardboard?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cute. I haven't seen it before.
It's part of this particular version. I had one before that didn't have them. And, so, although this is going to be hard, if you put this in Google View,
Did it then?
so it follows.
Go stick it on your head then, Wayne. So as you move your head, basically,
As I move my head,
it'll track. Oh, that's awesome.
and obviously I get the stereo view.
Are you actually seeing it?
Yeah.
God, let's
I
go
was
then.
I was playing with it earlier. The latency is really great on it. It's amazing. I was really surprised by how
I can't see you, Sandy. Where are you?
good it
I'm moving around a little bit.
That's pretty cool.
Oh.
Oh, gone quiet.
Has he gone dead?
Pretty convincing. It's still on screen, but
Okay, so we're still streaming. Just he's decided to stop moving.
oh,
Maybe the
thought
servos,
sad robot.
servos have got jammed or something, maybe.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good when you put it
Need
on.
to bond it together. Yeah, it's
Look
effective,
around.
isn't it?
It's not bad. Yeah,
Yeah, so
not at all.
that's that. And the other thing about it is that the eyes are separate, so you can take it off and then stick it on something else, like maybe the bigger robot that's a bit more stable. This is
Yeah.
prototype from Vortex Robotics. His next one, Max. There we go. And the other thing is, these are the no IR lenses.
The
And-
cameras, yeah.
Cameras,
yeah.
sorry, yeah. And I've got another cut version. This. With these two holes on the edge, and they're for IR LED transmitters.
Oh,
so
right,
you
okay.
could mount this on this, and you'd have effectively a sort of a night vision.
Oh, nice.
Which is something for later.
Yeah. That's very cool.
And then another one is to use a bit more sort of augmented reality stuff, where you can put the camera stream into a proper virtual world and view the virtual world.
Nice. Let's have a bit of a close up on the head module, because the little build, the build is quite nice here with the Pi Zeros and everything.
Yeah.
And the spacing and the optics and how it all goes together.
Yep. So full screen on that. Whoops.
Losers. We're boring.
Ah. There we go.
So yeah, there's the Pi Zeros. And
That slightly amazed me when you just removed that whole thing. And then looking at it, obviously, well, there's a battery for each, and they're wirelessly streaming.
yeah.
So assuming the web page served up by the kind of controller Pi,
Yeah.
literally just puts 2 video views and pulls the stream direct from those Pis.
That's right. So
over
the
the
page
network,
it serves up, the page says go get the stream from these 2 URLs.
Oh,
and
right, cool.
And
Nice.
cam0.local, cam1.local. And
So in theory, you could have heads that are configured slightly differently, different optics, noir versus non-noir,
Yeah.
lighting rings, no lighting rings,
As
and just
mul-
hot swap them when you want to.
yeah,
basically.
or have multiple ones concurrently,
Cool.
IR ones, non-IR ones, different fisheye lenses. So Brian's done me a front panel for this with 3 cameras on the front.
Right.
So yeah, there's all sorts of options you can play with.
That is it's a cute build. That I like the way the LiPo's stuck in.
I like the way the lenses are mounted. That's quite neat.
Yeah, it's tidy, isn't it? They're solidly in there, aren't they?
You can actually
Yeah.
There's a little
get
bit of
lenses
movement
that
in them, but they're not going anywhere.
you can get lenses
Yeah.
that have magnets that are like magnetic ones
Yeah.
that kind of snap on.
That would be cool.
But yeah,
I like it. It's got a nice aesthetic as well.
Try to make it cute.
It is cute.
yeah.
Very cute.
Something like, what was it? Phil said Wally-like. That Disney.
Wally.
Totally accident, but yeah, well spotted, Phil.
So probably, I think on the head is probably a little bit too heavy for this format of robot.
It is.
It's doable.
Yeah, you'd
But,
probably.
yeah.
You can just use the single version. So like your normal camera plugged in.
Just a single camera.
Just a single camera there. Where
And
it's
then 3 glasses, but
3
both
glasses
views being the same
and-
thing.
Yeah, you hit the
Yeah.
button that replicates the camera view. You've got like a giant screen about 2 foot from your face.
So does that
First person.
obviously you lose the stereoscopic nature of it, but does it still feel pretty good with a single camera?
Yeah, it's quite cool. It's like driving around with 2 screens, I think, in front of your face.
Okay, that's pretty cute.
Is there a limit to the number of cameras you could have? Like, is it limited by the amount of data that's streaming? Or?
Yeah, it'd be Wi-Fi
Yeah.
limit, and yeah, how much your phone can pull in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what are you actually using to stream the video then?
That is, I've tried a few things, and what I settled on the end was something called UV4L. So it's
I think
set of
Phil's
services.
Phil's been playing with that.
Yeah, I think you might
yeah.
mention it in the chat.
Yeah.
And on Slack. So yeah, that I've settled on using that because I found it's configurable and reliable and decent quality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what kind of frame rate you get from it?
I've set it to be 20, 25.
Okay.
I think I
Yeah.
upped it to 30 and lowered the quality, but it's still quite nice quality
Yeah.
streaming. So
And with those lipos, how long do the eyes last individually?
I'm not sure. I've not really measured it.
Mm.
I'd say an hour or so at least, but I'm not really sure.
So what, kind of ideally for this, you probably possibly actually want to share one battery and like use a higher current LiPo adapter, split it off to both modules, and perhaps have a power switch or something so you can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
I've also got one of those Adafruit chargers as well. You might want one of them.
Yep.
Connect it, make it nice and isolated, nice and packaged.
So what's your next steps for this then? Where are you taking it?
So adding the IR stuff, sort of night
Mhm.
vision stuff. Want to do more VR type things. So streaming the camera into a VR world, and then you can maybe Sandy earlier stream sensor data into the VR world. So
Mhm.
sort of you're seeing the video at the moment, but basically be able to virtually step back and then see sensor data around your sides or below, like distant stuff.
Like,
That would be pretty cool.
Like Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator with the
Overlay
kind of,
Robocop, green grid and
graphs
stuff.
of data and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
652 boot
Very
up code
cool.
for Terminator,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Excellent.
Real serious stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe do something with this little kit. So it's quite simple, and
Mm.
you can have a single lens version or
Because
dual lens one.
building this double lens version would be quite expensive. There's a lot of stuff here, and it's not all cheap, right? I mean,
No, so
the cameras and the pies and the
Yeah,
batteries
so the
and
price
stuff.
and battery, I think that's just over £100.
But if you can
It's
get it
not
down,
bad. It's not bad for
it's
a,
not
a
silly. No.
virtual reality robot.
And yeah, and the Google Cardboard, that's £8. So.
Yeah. But if you can, I mean, like a single camera one,
Yeah.
save a fair bit, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And at the moment, obviously, you have the head completely detachable, but you could make it a little less complex by piping the power off your power supply on the main board and things like that, right? You don't need to have the separate batteries, I guess.
No,
So
no,
there's a lot
you
of ways
just
you
have
could
a wire.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We like it.
So you've got a tutorial about this
So
one?
Uh-huh.
yeah, so as it took it to Pi Wars, hi Mikey too, one of their show and tell stands at Pi Wars this year, and it details some of the build of Bogley Bill, which was like the first major version, the second version, because the first version was involving the Rift, but that's a bit expensive.
And this is your Hackster.io project.
That's so that was for the pure VR thing. I did VR Zero, and there's another one which is for the robot. So I used pieces of VR Zero in this, but Astral Pi.
That one.
I called it at the time. Yeah.
Do not do pop-ups.
Pop-ups.
Oh, is this like a demo setup?
So there is a movable robot underneath there. I hid it.
This is you were talking about hovercraft last time.
Yeah. So
did that ever happen? Or?
Well, I built a prototype. I got videos of it, but it's very scary. And it would have chopped people's feet off.
Okay, probably.
So I had a
not the
prototype
best.
floating
Yeah.
around, but that was going to be a prototype.
Right.
A hovercraft. Yeah.
Very cool.
But no, that turned out to just be a four-wheel chassis underneath.
And between using it with the Oculus Rift and Google Cardboard, is it worth the £400-500 for the VR headset?
That's the DK2, and when I first tried this out, I was very impressed actually, and thought
Yeah.
there's not much in it. So that I was happy with that.
Fair dues. £8.
Yeah.
Especially for a web app, it's really impressive that it's all just done
Yeah,
in a browser.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I also wanted to run on different devices, so you can even run it on a Pi, a Chromium Pi. The app runs in that, so you could have a Pi as the client, not necessarily a phone.
Obviously,
Lots of people have phones.
even though this is a Google
just had no
product,
idea.
the Cardboard,
Mhm.
you can use any phone in it that can
Oh,
play
any-
video basically in the browser. So you're using an iPhone, I
So
think.
so any browser, yeah, it's just use an iPhone. But I've tried it with a Nexus 7 as well, Android tablet, and the app works on, say, the Chromium browser on a Pi or a Mac.
So if you had a
Cool.
Pi with a little display hat or something like that, then you could use that.
Yeah. Touchscreen. Yeah.
Very nice.
It'll work on
Cool.
that.
Right. I think that's everything we have, and it's getting really warm.
You've
in
got the
here.
other demo as well, haven't you?
Oh, have we? Let's
Yeah.
do the other demo.
Do you want to try? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Absolutely.
the VR demo. So
Yeah, there we go.
where are we? So it's that. Is it moving?
Where are the eyes?
Yeah, it's on the. It's up there.
It's not updating though. We've just
It's
got a
not
still
updating.
frame at the moment.
Is it this or is it? Just restarting. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
definitely that one.
So this is basically using the Oculus with the Pi.
Yeah,
Um,
and it uses. There's a 3D library for the Pi called Pi 3D.
Is that Pi as in Python, or is it
PI. So
Raspberry
some
Pi?
guys, Paddy and some others have put some Python layer around the OpenGL.
Right,
So they
okay,
made it
cool,
easy to do 3D stuff, and they made it easy to put in there the what's called shaders, which is necessary to do the distortion.
Yeah.
So I added that and rendered it twice, one for each eye, and is it booting? Yeah. So this is Pi 3D with some extensions. Someone else also did a very low level driver for detecting the rotations of the head mount display.
Like the accelerometer data and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Because it's just connected via USB, isn't it,
Yeah,
normally?
it pretends to be a HID
Oh,
device.
whoa, there we go.
So,
So what's the actual world that's being rendered here? Is
so
this
this
some
is
demo? Or?
so this is taken from this is a standard Pi 3D demo I've added the other side of stuff too. So you can use a joypad like this to move around in it.
Okay. Ooh, I'll try and
So
get it
that's
a bit
me
more
looking.
forward. There we go.
So we can wander around. So
Ooh,
there's,
what was that?
that's the Pi 3D logo.
Ooh,
Ah. Oh.
There we go. And if I hit this button, it kills this demo and starts up one of the others. So
is that
So
now
it says,
the
now the
Raspberry
Raspberry Pi really does rock.
So and there's another one.
Ba-dum-tsh.
Cool. So effectively, this is something that just lets you build VR applications on a Pi, basically, right?
Yeah, so it's all in Python. So all these demos are almost the original Pi 3D demos unmodified, but the bit that I've added is this this VR Zero, which incorporates the setup for the dual cameras
Nice.
and makes it easy to get the inputs.
You can see the kind of distortion that's added at the corners
Yeah,
to mimic the lens, I guess, or to match the lens.
to counteract the the curvature of the lens. Yeah, so that's called a barrel distort.
Yeah,
Um,
cool. So you can make some really interesting stuff with this.
Yeah.
And this works with Google Cardboard as well.
So
Or do you have to
would need a
use
little
the rest?
screen for the Pi. So at the moment,
But you could stream that out onto your phone in the same way, right, as the video streams.
And that video streaming thing we talked about earlier, UV4L, that has an add-on where you can stream the actual screen out. So that's a potential way to get it on.
Right,
I've not
right,
tried
right.
that yet,
Yeah.
but that's potentially something to try it. and do.
Cool.
Or it's to get, as I was talking about, a small 5-inch HDMI screen.
I've literally just noticed the googly eyes on the Oculus Rift. I know you even told me about them earlier.
Yeah.
Is that Durham
Ooh.
Cathedral? It looks very like Durham Cathedral.
We're fighting each other here, aren't we?
Sorry, yeah, I
It is,
I
it's
keep
cool.
pressing the wrong button.
I'm upside down.
Sorry,
Everything's gone horribly wrong.
I was moving using the wrong button.
Where was that? That looked like quite a cool model, actually. Where's it gone?
Let me turn you around.
There it is.
Sorry. Right.
Whoa, whoa,
So
whoa.
crazy.
Adjust, over adjust.
Listen.
Sweet.
Okay.
So, I mean, really doing your own VR projects is totally accessible now. Because something like the Oculus Rift or the Vive or whatever, you're talking £500 to £1,000, aren't you? But,
Yeah.
And sensors in the corners of the room and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's an expensive thing.
You do it for £8 in your smartphone.
£8
And a
smartphone.
Pi.
And a Pi, that's what you need.
Brilliant.
There is a teacher, Dan Aldred, is actually playing with
Oh yeah,
some
we know
students.
Dan, yeah.
He's doing a code club even, and he said he was going to, or has been using this to get some kids into coding. I think they
Cool.
do things like mess with textures and play with it. So yeah, that was the other thing I want to do. Say kids, look, you can build this stuff. We don't need expensive stuff, and it's easy to do.
You don't need to be a well-paid software engineer at Facebook.
No,
£8 and a Pi.
that's all you need.
Go nuts.
Yeah, it makes it
Smart.
more accessible.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Wayne.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Super interesting. Yeah, and nice projects as well. We like these. And if you ever turn this thing into a kit, then yeah, we should totally stop that,
Alright,
because
cool.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's see if we can source the cardboards. But on that note, don't forget to like.
Comment and
Subscribe.
You have to say it loudly.
Subscribe,
Thank
please.
you.
Do it.
See you next week.